Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this channel, Everyday Data Science, is all about trying to learn the different concepts involved in data science by practicing a lot of questions. In this video, I'm going to solve this question on LeetCode regarding highest grade for each student and try to walk you through how we can develop solutions to such problems. The difficulty level of this question is medium, and this question has been asked in Coursera interviews over the past couple of years. Okay, so let's jump right in. We are given a table called enrollments with three different columns: student ID, course ID, and grade, and integer being the data types. The combined column student ID and course ID is the primary key of this table. We are asked to write a SQL query to find the highest grade with its corresponding course for each student. In case of a tie, you should find the course with the smallest course ID. The order of the results should be ordered by student ID in ascending order. Okay, let's go through this example, right? So in this case, we have three different students, right? So student ID 1, 2, and 3 with different courses and their grades. So for student ID 1, the highest grade is in course ID 2, 99, right? So that should be reported for student ID 1. For student ID 2, the grade is same in both the courses. So we need to only return the course with the smallest course ID. So out of 2 and 3, the smallest is 2, right? So for student ID 2, this course and this grade should be reported. And similarly for three different courses, the highest is 82. So this should be reported, right? So this is going to be the output. Okay, so to work on this, what we can do is, the first thing we should do is, try to find out for each of the student IDs what is the maximum grades. So let's start developing this query. So from this table called enrollments, let's keep all the columns, right? And then make a new column which has the maximum grade of each student ID, right? So we are using a window functions to do that. So we will be writing over clause over partition by student ID, right? And then what we are doing is we are calculating the maximum from the grade, right? And let's alias this column as max grade, right? So basically what is this going to do? So if I just copy paste it here just to demonstrate, right? So here there will be a fourth column, right? Max grade, right? And firstly, since I have written partition by student ID, so it will create partition. So student ID 2, one partition, student ID 1, one partition, and these three in one partition. Now out of these two rows, what is the maximum grade? So 95 in both, right? So 95. For this it is going to be 99, and for these three it is going to be 82, right? So 82, right? Now once we have this, what we can do is we can store this in a common table expression. So with CTE as, right, and then put your entire query in parentheses. Now what we can do is, from this common table expression, since we have the grade as well as the maximum grade, what we can do is, we are only concerned about the the student and their maximum grades, right, and their course IDs. So what we can do is, we can, from this common table expressions, only keep those rows where the grade column is equal to the maximum grade, right? So what we can do is, from this common table expression, right, let's keep only those rows where the grade is equal to max grade, right? So while doing this, what will happen, right? So it will only keep these rows, right? So since grade is equal to max grade, so it will remove both these rows, right? Similarly, it will remove this one, right? But it will keep both of these for student ID too, right? Now what we can do is, since we have student IDs, their different courses, and the maximum grades, right, what we can do is we can group by, right? So we can group by the student ID, right? So once we group by student ID, let's return the student ID, right? Now, so let's go through this, right? So for example, for student ID 1, right, so only one row. So in the group of student ID 1, there is only one course, and like the grade is 99, right? For similarly for 3, same thing, right? But what is in the case of student ID 2? So in the group with student ID 2, there are two different courses, 2 and 3, and obviously they are there because the first thing that we are doing is we are only keeping those rows where the grade is equal to maximum grade, right? So if there are more than one rows, that means that the person has scored same grade in two or more courses, right? So what we are doing is, in that case, we are asked to keep the lowest course ID, right? The question mentioned, in case of a tie, you should find the course with the smallest course ID. So what we can do is we can return the minimum of course ID, right? And since our output table has alias as course ID, so we will write as course ID, right? And then the third column should be the grade, right? So like why this works, so for student ID 2, out of 2 and 3, it will take the minimum, right? 2. For 1, minimum of 2 is 2, minimum of 3 is 3, right? So it works universally. Similarly, we also need to keep the grade. So we can do, we can take any grade, because anyway, like these grades are now the maximum grades. But what we can do is we can write maximum grade and alias it as grade, right? And now the finally the question says the order of the result should be ordered by student ID, right? In ascending order. So order by student ID, right? Okay, so this looks good. Let me go ahead and remove this and let's run this to see what happens. So yeah, this is accepted. Our output is same as expected output. Let me go ahead and submit it to see if it passes all the test cases. So yeah, this passes all the test cases, and this is how we do it. Again, medium difficulty question, not so difficult question. All we had to do was trying to see like which all students had what was the maximum grade, and once we had that, we are only keeping those rows where grade is equal to maximum grade, then group by the student ID, find the minimum course as well as the grade which is maximum, right? And then we are ordering by the student ID. I hope this video was useful. Let me know guys in the comment section if this video was useful, or you can think of any better solution, more efficient solution to this problem. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video.